Hey there guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. Let me just clear my console over here. And in this video we are going to see logical operators, which are OR. I'll move my mouse. Which are the OR, the double pipe symbol, the symbol which you can type with pressing shift and the key and the slash key above your enter. You get the pipe symbol. The double pipe means the OR, and this AND operator means and the exclamation mark which we saw in the last video means not. So these are basically the logical operators, and they work similar to the gates, logical gates. If you have studied about them, if you have not, don't worry, you're just going to understand what these operators are. So anyways, I have checked these two conditions over here. If x is greater than 5 or t is greater than 10, and it's going to print, let me just change what it's going to print, any one of the conditions were true. So that's pretty much it. The OR operator will basically work like this. If any of the conditions to the either side of the OR operator is true, it will evaluate the whole expression to true. Okay, so if this is true or this is true, this whole will come to true. If both of these, if x is greater than 5 and t is also greater than 10, both are true, this whole will be evaluated to true. If both of these are false, if x is not greater than 5 and t is not greater than 10, this whole will be evaluated to false, and then this if will not run. So basically the OR is used to check if any one of these conditions are true. So I'll just show you guys. I will input in x8 and input in t11. So both of those conditions are true. It ran obviously. Now I will enter x2 and t11. So 2 is not greater than 5, so this is false, but t is greater than 11, so this is true. So this whole condition will be evaluated to true, and this if will run. Let me show you. As you can see, it ran and printed me any one of the conditions are true. Similarly, if I enter x greater than 5, so I enter x7, but I enter t9, it will still run because this is true, 7 is greater than 5. Although this is false, 7 is not greater than 5, but this is true. So any one of these conditions are true again, so this will run. But if I enter both of these conditions false, I enter x is 2, 2 is not greater than 5, and t9, so t is also not greater than 10. So now this will not run. So OR pretty much works like the OR gate. OR gate has two inputs to it. Any of the twos can be either zeros or ones. If both of those inputs or any one of those inputs are 1, the output of the OR gate is 1. If both of those inputs are 0 to the OR gate, then the output of the OR gate is 0. So basically it's saying if both of these conditions on the sides of my OR gate is false, the OR operator will evaluate to false. If any one of these conditions or both of these conditions become true, the OR operator will also evaluate this condition to true. The AND operator, on the other hand, checks if both of these conditions are true. So instead of any one, I'm going to say both. I'm just gonna quickly run and show it to you guys. If I enter t is greater than 5, x is greater than 5, I enter x10, so 10 is greater than 5, and I enter 19, so 19 is greater than 10, it's going to run. So because x was 10, x10 is greater than 5, and t was 19, 19 is greater than 10, so both of these conditions were true and it ran. But if I enter any one of these conditions false, I enter x1, 1 is not greater than 5, so my first condition will be false, and I enter t19, 19 is greater than 10, so my second condition will be true, but it will not run because this was false, this was true. So false and true is false. and I run my debugger again by mistake. So anyways, if I enter now x is greater than 5, so I enter x19 and then enter t4, so 4 is not greater than 10, so second condition is false. Again, this will not run. And obviously, if I enter both of these conditions false, it will not run. So what the OR AND gate is basically, it's kind of reverse of the OR gate. It only works if both of these conditions is true to it. If any one of these conditions is false or both of these conditions is false, it will return false over here and the if statement will not run. So the AND operator works like the AND gate. An AND gate again has two inputs to it, 1 or 0. The two of them can be either 1 or 0. If both of those inputs are 1, the AND gate will give you 1. If any one or both of those inputs are 0, the AND gate will give you 0 output. The NOT gate, on the other hand, has one input and it will give you the reverse of your input. So for example, if you input 1 in NOT gate, it will give you 0 output. And if you input 0 in the OR gate, it will give you 1 as the output. So now you pretty much get the hang of it. So if I enter NOT over here, and remember NOT needs brackets. So what's going to do is, it's going to evaluate this condition and then give me the reverse of the evaluation of this condition. Okay. So I'll just quickly show that to you guys. If I enter x greater than 5, say I enter x is 10, what will happen? This condition will evaluate to true. So my input to the NOT operator is true, and I told you the NOT will give you the reverse of whatever you give it to the input. So this will give me the false, and this condition, this if will be turned to false, and this if will not run. So to prove it to you guys, I'm just gonna press enter over here, and it's asking me another input in T. I'm just gonna input any number, but this condition doesn't depend on T, so I'm just gonna remove it for the next time. So as you can see, I entered T. T is greater than 5, so this will be validated to true, but this NOT will now turn that true to false. So this if will eventually be false, and this will not run. Now if I enter x less than 5, so I enter x2, 2 is not greater than 5, so this will be validated to false, and that NOT will reverse this false into true. So now the if becomes true and this will run. So now you get the hang of it, why we use the NOT operator to check if strings are not equal to anything. We did it something like this. We wrote t dot equals, and inside these brackets we write something, and to check if t is not equal to something, we just simply put a NOT over here. So what it does is, it checks if it's equal to this. So if it's equal to this, it will return true, and this NOT will turn that true to false. So that's how it works. And then you can have combination of these AND and OR operators, like I can have like this. If this or x and y. So what is this basically doing is, right, it's checking if both of these conditions are true, and basically it's checking like if any one of these conditions are true, this whole and this, if any one of these condition is true, this will run. If not, this will not run. So it's going to check if x and y. So say for example, let's just name it h. So say this, if h is also true and y is also true, this will evaluate it to true. Now in OR gate, any one condition is true, the if will run. So if will simply run right in this case. If this is true and this is false, so now this whole will be false because the AND gate has one input false. So any input, and if any one input to the AND gate is false, it will evaluate it to false. So this will whole evaluate it to false. And say for example x is greater than 5, so this will evaluate it to true. So true or false will obviously be validating to true. So this if will run. Now say this is also false and this is also false. Now this false or false is equal to false, so this if will not run. So I'm not gonna explain you the combinations. You should try it yourself, and that will be better, and you will get the you will understand these well. So I'm just gonna end this video here. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any doubts, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.